Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Roman Angst Wattpad story. Today I'll be reading chapters from 4 to 10. If you don't know what happened, please go back to my last Roman Angst reading story. And without further ado, let us begin. Chapter 4. Warning, terrible grammar, platonic brother love, no rum wrong. No one's point of view. It had been over 19 hours before the others even realized that Roman was even missing, and within that time, Roman and Remus were having a nice brother bonding time. So maybe this whole Remus kidnapping Roman scenario experience wasn't all too terribly, and Roman also found out that Remus deodorant was actually a DIY marshmallow in a fake deodorant brand case, which impressed Roman. But the trouble started when Roman asked Remus what time it was, and when Remus told Roman, he had a look of shock because Remus had kidnapped Roman 19 hours ago. He was confused and was even more confused to see Roman's expression didn't even change, like this was a normal everyday day-to-day life, like Princess Peach getting captured by Bowser and Mario just continues to save her type of normal. So Remus let Roman out the basement and into his side of the imagination castle, and they went to a watchtower to see the dark night sky. You would think that there would be a bunch of horrific looking things on his side, and you would be right, but you wouldn't believe how they act. And they would act like a normal person. It was like Monsters, Inc. Different creatures, but these creatures don't fear kids or adults. They just have fears, what any normal person would. They would even fear each other and themselves sometimes. It was kind of funny to Remus and Roman. They both looked up to see some pretty stars, but both their expressions changed when they felt a blast of wind hit them. They turned around only to see a great black mist slowly making itself a spot in the imagination, which was a surprising sight because this meant they were getting a new side, who was also working in imaginations. The twins looked at each other in a what type of light or dark side is he gonna be? Since everyone has a spot in Thomas's body, Logan is obviously in a part of the brain along with Virgil, the twins, and Janice, while Patton is obviously located in the heart. So when the others don't want to be in their room, they go to their designated areas for better privacy. It comes with whatever the side wants or feels, and the side of their territory can allow or not allow anyone in or out. So that was an amazing bonus, but that power can be abused. A reason being is the side can let you in, but then can decide to not let you out, keeping you there until they decide to let you go. And if you are in their territory when they allow you and they want you gone, they can just kick you out and it sends you to the mind place or the host, out of his, her, or their mind, or back to your territory. And this also means that if a side's in their territory, the host and any other sides cannot summon them if they're in their territory, which can be a big problem because it would be an emergency or worse. Also, if there was to be a parasite, they cannot be kicked out, meaning they could go to anyone else's territory and the sides cannot refuse them no matter how hard they try. Roman was kind of excited to meet this new side in the morning. Since their spot is being created, they will have to wait a while. Remus, on the other hand, was a bit more concerned and conflicted about this because he didn't expect to see a new side, and maybe the fact that it took years for this new side to form. So what possible side effect is he going to bring to the table? Time skip. The next day, Roman and Remus were bored out of their minds, and still the sides didn't notice that one of their friends was missing. Remus looked at Roman, who was on his bed dangling, while Remus was on the ceiling hanging from a metal bar. A few minutes later, Janice came into the room, furious, which startled Roman and Remus. "Oh, hey, Dee Dee." "Remus, why is Roman in your room?" "I kidnapped him so the others can eat my deodorant." "Remus, you must bring him back. The others think I took him." "Just tell them I'm with my brother Remus." "If that was possible, I would have done that, but no one will ever listen to a snake." Roman looks at Remus, and Remus looked back at Roman. "Remus, absolutely not, Roman." "But, Roman, as much as I love ass, no, I'm not letting you go." Remus, I suggest you return Roman immediately before the others chew you out.
Aw, come on, I don't wanna.
Remus, you will return him back or no deodorant for a month. Remus' face was agape.
Fine.
Totally not. Perfect. Janice synced out of Remus's room.
So, you gotta go back.
Silence. Roman was silent, and it made the Duke uncomfortable because he didn't know if Roman was just gonna up and leave without saying goodbye like last time. When Roman spoke again, it was low and mumbled. If there was any wind, then the way he spoke would most likely be mistaken for the wind. I don't want to go just yet.
What was that?
Slightly louder. I don't want to go just yet.
Bro, come on. I gotta send you back to the others.
No! No. I don't want to go back to them. Remus was confused.
But don't you care about your friends?
Of course I care about them. It's just I want to hang out with you. My brother. Look, I know I can't change the past, nor predict the future. But I want to try and fix our relationship. I don't want us to think we're enemies. I want us to remember we're brothers. Yes, I do care about my family, but you're also part of that family. I understand if you don't want to forgive me, but I just needed to get this off my chest. And my room and my side of the imagination is always open to you. Do you want to continue hanging out in my room after I deal with the situation at hand? If you do, then come and stop by. Well, Roman walks over to Remus and gives him a hug. Well, I'll see you soon or later, but for now, goodbye, brother. Roman was about to let go until he felt Remus hugging back, and he heard him quietly sobbing. If you don't mind, I'm gonna visit you in your room around 3 a.m. Okay. Remus's voice broke off at the end of the sentence. Roman was smiling. A natural, normal, non-forced smile. And he got teary-eyed too. Roman let go of Remus and looked him queer in the face and simply said, I shall await for your arrival, brother. Roman had let out a few tears, and Remus was still sobbing, but it turned into frequent sniffles. Roman didn't know how much those words meant to Remus. See you soon, brother. But little did they know someone was listening in. Soon, my friend. Soon. Hello, sir. You wanted to see me? Yes. I want you to spy on these two. They looked in the direction of Roman and Remus and looked back. Those two, sir? Yes. Sorry, forgive me for asking, but why do you need you to spy on them for? Those two have power I want, and what I need you to do is pretend to be their friend. And how may I do that, sir? You will become what you once were. I beg your pardon, sir. Dismissed. Yes, sir. That is the end of chapter 4. Moving on to chapter 5. It has been 2 weeks, and Roman and Remus will hang out constantly without the others' knowledge, since the two brothers believed that the others would separate them, and since they were barely reforming their bond, they didn't want to lose each other like they did when they were kids. They were in Roman's side of the imagination, and then they noticed the new side's imagination was finished. Roman and Remus looked back at each other, and they went to go introduce themselves to see who this new side was. The twins walked to this new side's territory and were surprised to see a female side. Hello. Who are you two? I'm Remus. This is my twin brother, Roman. Hello. May I ask what you represent? I represent dreams and nightmares. Roman and Remus were confused. What do you two represent? I represent intrusive thoughts. I represent good creativity, along with being the ego, fanciful dreamer, and hero of someone. Oh, that sounds like a lot. It is, but I got used to it. But what type of side are you? Huh? He means, are you a dark side or a light side? What is that? Dark sides are bad and light sides are good. Now, what did you get assigned? It says stand by. I'm confused. The twins looked back confused because this side should have been male, because Thomas was, oh, fuck me in the ass. This sounded so bad. Short intermission. I'm sorry if this sounds so disrespectful. I am so sorry. I did not mean for it to sound disrespectful. I am so sorry. Please just skip ahead to a few seconds, because I am so sorry. The twins looked back at each other, looked back confused because this side should have been male, because Thomas was male, and if he became transgender, then they all would change to the female. Alongside that, after a side is made, it tells them instantly what they are, what their name is, and what they represent. There has never been a female side with a male non-transgender man host and no one that was on standby. But they believed there was something missing that they didn't understand. Another intermission. I am so sorry for that paragraph. I don't even know what I was thinking there. I'll fix that and change it, I swear. But to those of you who skipped ahead, it's basically... The main important part was that there has never been a side on standby. Back to your regularly programmed days. Your regularly programmed reading. The twins looked back at this new side and were puzzled on what to call her by, since she represents two things, and both are our main focus. Are you two okay? Hello, Earth to Roman and Remus? Hello, are you two okay? You've both been looking at me for 58 seconds. Huh? Sorry, we were just trying to think of out on what a name we should call you by until we learn your real name. I'm fine with both of them, honestly. What? I'm okay with being called Dream or Nightmare. But what if two people want your attention and they say the opposite? For example, if I say Dream and my brother Riri says Nightmare, what do you do? I guess I would respond to both, since it's my name. Roro, she confuses me. Why do you say Roro? Roman, why did you call him Riri? Well, it's a nickname me and my brother and my friends use. What are their nicknames? Logan has a nickname Lolo, Patton, Papa, Janice, Jan, also Dee, Virgil, Vivi, me, Riri, Roman, Roro. I have no clue who those people are, but judging by all their nicknames, it's the first 2 or 3 letters in their names. So I would have the nickname Dem or Nini or Nai. So if I were to say what my name is, it's Dem, Nini, Nai, and then my real name? I'm confused. About what? 1, you're a female inside of a male host, and there must be a reason for that. 2, you represent 2 main focuses that are opposite of each other. 3, there has never been a side that has been put on standby. And it makes no sense. I feel a little hurt on that beginning part. I'm sorry, it's just we've never experienced this and never met a new side like you, especially one that came very out in Thomas's life. I guess that makes sense. All three. So, do you two mind showing me around the place? Please? Oh, hey, yes, of course. Here, let's show you the rest of the imagination. You'll have your own time to explore your own place, so you don't need to worry too much. It's empty. I don't think I need to explore anything if it's empty. Oh, well, you have to imagine it. Since this is your territory, you can do whatever you want with it. So if you came to my side, then I can give you a proper demonstration. Remus, please, we don't want to scare her on her first day of being in the imagination. Oh, come on, bro. She will learn these things sooner or later. And besides, I'm the most scariest thing here. So if she can be brave enough to no longer fear me, then what does she have to fear? Other people's opinion of me, because apparently there are no sides that have been put on standby. And the fact there are no other female sides in the house has never transitioned into a female, and the fact that I'm probably the only female in this mindset of this place, and I don't know what the others will think of me since I never met them. New people, parties, Nikki party. Wait, what did I say? Yes! Remus, please, brother, not now. Brother, she has the same ideas as me! Aren't you concerned? He looks like a bomb ready to blow. Trust me, this is normal. Just let him cool off, and we're good to go. Besides, while he's screaming his head off, I'll teach you how to create something in the imagination territory. In your imagination territory. Okay. Are you sure he's gonna be okay? Trust me, we are twins. We have the twin link. And right now, he's freaking out and excited on what you said because he does represent intrusive thoughts. He'll find that appealing, but for now, let's focus on you creating your own home here because since you will need one here, we can find your room in the, if I may, Roman. Why do I need a room for somewhere else if I'm gonna stay here? The explanation I provided on chapter 4. And yeah, that's the reason why. Oh, that makes sense. But what if I want this place to be my room? Well, then again, I don't see why not. Like, I don't think that's a bad idea. Brilliant too, probably, but I don't think that's a bad idea, so I guess you can make your room here? Really? Like I said, I don't see why not, so let's see if you can try. But first, you need to learn creating creative things. So, let's begin. After 5 hours of training, getting things right and wrong, nightmares or dream finally made themselves a castle within many hidden pathways that only they know about. She was finally getting the hang of her new role. Hey, do you both think I'll be ready to meet the rest of the gang? I mean, I say you have a pretty good chance. Same here. I believe in you, my friend. Thank you, both of you. Today was quite fun. I'll see you both tomorrow morning. Bye. Twins in unison. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow morning. That is the end of chapter 5, and I am sorry that this was the most shittiest one I've created. Please forgive me. Moving on to chapter 6. Warning, self-harm, sad Roman, blood, angst, attempted suicide. If none of you are comfortable with this, please leave the video or skip ahead. I'll leave a warning. It was 3:48 a.m. in the morning when Roman woke up. He looked around his room. He was groggy and sleepy and tried to get back to sleep, but no matter how hard he tried to get into a comfortable position, he couldn't get sleepy. So he stopped trying to get comfortable and just got off his bed. He was walking around his room when he accidentally stepped on a Lego. He almost screamed out loud, but he bit his hand instead. and he bit his hand so hard that by the time the pain in his foot subsided, he stopped biting his hand and noticed some small blood dripping out of the bite wound. He looked at it with an unamused look and went to the bathroom to patch up and clean his hand. After he cleaned his hand, he went back to his room and looked around. His eyes were trying to adjust to the light when he was getting a little bored. He made a window in his room, and when he looked outside of the window, he saw how beautiful the night sky looked. Roman has always favored the night to the day, and night of the bright light of the moon shined in his room. When he looked back in the room, he saw how messy it was. He laughed at the mess because he and Remus were messing around with Legos to see who could make the better build in under 20 minutes. They both agreed it was a tie. Roman smiled at the memory and felt at ease. He then realized he had to clean this mess. He quietly laughed, got his phone and headphones on, started to play the Frozen 2 soundtrack, and started to clean up his room. Time skip. It was 6 a.m. when Roman was done cleaning. He looked to see it was a Saturday, which meant time to be lazy and not productive day. He was happy and excited until that happiness died down because he knew Logan would want to do something productive like work. But Roman had stayed up all night for the past 2 weeks trying to create something. Well, he did, but he knew Logan would just see it as childish and criticize him and how he was lazy and how he should work harder. Roman has worked harder, to the point where he will go days at a time not eating, drinking, or even sleep. It was annoying and getting him down. He was hurting, but he didn't dare let anyone know for fear that they will call him an attention seeker and that he would lose his friends. And he didn't want to lose more people he loves. He realized that being an actor was a pain, because the others know he's an actor, so if he's feeling genuine pain, they will play it off as him acting and seeking pity attention. So Roman kept it in and never told anyone how he felt ever since. He does want to tell his friends, but he can't bring himself to do it no matter how hard he tries. It will always end the same. Quit being an attention seeker, Roman. Roman hated those words. Attention seeker. He was looking for help on his own, in his own way. He wasn't trying to be dramatic. He was trying to tell the others his emotion, but his emotions got the better of him, which would make him look dramatic. He didn't ask to be this way. He didn't ask to be the side who he is today. He didn't ask to be here. And yet, here he was, in the middle of his room, trying not to cry his own stupidity. He sighed and went back to his nightstand and pulled out his knives and blades and chose his favorite knife. It was a cloud with a push blade. He loved how cute it was, and it made hiding it easier. He can play it off his lip gloss or something like that. He had pushed the blade out and lifted his sleeve. He thought to himself, wow, it really has been a while since I last did this. Oh wow. Cutting and blood mentioned here. He pushed the blade deep in his skin. He hissed at the pain and felt like his throat burned. This always happened when he cuts himself. He didn't like that feeling because it reminded him of him crying, and he doesn't want to remember his emotional breakdown he had yesterday. He took a deep breath and calmed down. He continued to cut until he couldn't feel his skin anymore. He looked down and noticed how bloody his arms were, and he saw how the blood kept flowing. He smiled a crazed smile. He looked up at the ceiling and saw pictures of him and Remus when they were young and recent photos together. He also has a sign that says, "Do it for him." He let out a soft whimper and slowly got up. His head hurt and it felt like he had been crushed in the skull with 180 rockets that weighed over 2 million pounds. He walked over to the bathroom and took a shower because that would be the easiest way to clean up the blood and probably help with the headache. Time skip. After he was done cleaning the blood from his arms and after he patched up his wounds, he had also finished washing the blood off his carpet, which was a pain, but he really did need to wash it at some point, so might as well now than later. He barely finished getting ready before he heard a knock on his door. Roman thought, what the? Who could that be? Who is it?
It's me, your brother.
Remus? Why are you here? I thought the others banned you from coming here without deceit, even then they're on the fence.
Well, my dear brother, Jen has come over and I decided to tag along. And now here I am. You're ready to hang out with my amazing brother.
Roman was stunned by Remus's words. He felt something heal inside him. He quickly looked at his arms, took off some bandages, and noticed the few warts had formed on his skin. It wasn't cut into, but more healed in an unknown way. It had healed in words as to what Remus said. He was confused, but that feeling felt wonderful. He smiled and quickly fixed his bandages and went to unlock the door. You wanna go spar with the Dragon Witch?
Brother, is that even a question? Come on, let's go!
Okay. Let's go, brother. Time skip. After Remus and Roman sparred with the Dragon Witch and Remus heading back to the dark side main place, Roman felt alone. He felt scared. He didn't know why. He was so confused. And he felt tears threatening to come out. He kept wiping his face, but they just kept coming. He quickly turned around to see if his door was closed and locked. He saw the door close, but he walked over to see if the door was locked. He saw the door look locked, but he didn't want to risk it, so he made sure it was locked. It turns out the door was not locked. He also went the extra mile to make a void in front of his door. He made it where you can always find your way back to the door and it never gets lost, since he didn't want his friends to get lost in his void. And he can hear what they're saying, but they can't hear him, just like how he designed his room. He can hear out, they cannot hear in. He did this because Logan would complain about his singing being too loud and how it was disruptive in Thomas's sleep. So he made his room soundproof so no one would be tired and complained. And it worked. When he found out it worked, he used it to his advantage and started to scream in pain when he shot himself in the thigh on purpose to see if they could really hear him. He waited for 30 minutes, and when no one came, he took that as a yes, since he knew they were all in their rooms and could have easily heard him, because he was literally screaming his head off for 30 minutes before finally patching himself up. Time skip. Roman, he must have fallen asleep because he had woken up at 2:53 a.m. He looked around and he saw he was in a different area. He tried to get up, but his arms hurt like 12-degree burns. He hissed in pain and stayed laying down. So with his mobility of arms in pain, he looked around and saw Nightmare? Oh, hi Roman. I see you're up. You hungry? What? Huh? I asked if you were hungry. I made chicken noodle soup. Want some? Sure. Good. And we need to talk. But first, eat. She put the bowl of soup and walked over to Roman. What do you mean? She raises her eyebrow. Can you sit up? Yes. I can. Why? Really? Well then, sit up and take this soap from my hands. Okay. He tried to get up, But the same pain came back in his arms, and he tried so hard not to hiss, but it failed. Nightmare/Dream got a few pillows and put it behind his back, and Roman's back sank into the pillows. Need some help? Yes. Okay, open up. After a few minutes of feeding Roman, and a few more minutes of talking. Okay. Now, in a cold, stern voice, we need to talk about this. She points to his arms. Roman got a wave of fear, but he tried not to show it, and was going to let his acting save him. What about my arms? Roman, I found you bloody on the floor at 9:20 p.m. in the middle of the room, passed out from blood loss. Roman became visibly confused because he had no memory of cutting himself again. And why was she in his room? Wait, why were you in my room? That's not the point. What is the point is why your arms are covered in scars and the fact you were paler than snow. Roman, this is more important than me in your room. Well, what if I was doing something important that I needed some privacy and then you just came in the room without my permission? Wait. How did you find my room? Oh, well, I had a few more questions and couldn't find you, but I found Remus and asked him. He taught me new things and how to find others without their knowledge, so it can be great tactic for pranks. I'm glad he did, though, because I got a bad feeling he decided to put his teaching into the test, and I'm glad it worked because this is something serious. So, I'll make a deal. What? Roman, please let me continue. The deal is, if you tell me what you're doing in your own time, and if you ever feel like doing this again, call me or someone you can trust with this information. But if you can't trust anyone with this information just yet, I'll give you something to know when you're gonna cut, that we can hook it up so we can prevent it from happening, okay? And if you refuse this deal, I will find everyone you and Remus named and find them and show them what you're doing to yourself. So it will be deal or no deal. Roman was silent. That is the end of chapter 6. Moving on to chapter 7. No one's point of view. Can I have some time to think about it? Of course. You have till tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the morning. In the meantime, if you need me, I'll be in the other room next door. If you need anything, just scream or call for me. I'll be there in a heartbeat, okay? Okay. Nightmare/Dream proceeded to walk into another room. From what Roman could see, he saw a bed, so he assumed it was her room. Roman was confused. He didn't know what to feel. He had some hope that Nightmare was just bluffing, but if she found Roman in his room because of Remus, that there is a high chance that she could find the others and tell them. But he also thought that he could possibly turn the tables and put the blame on someone else. But as soon as that thought came, he immediately shot that down and reminded himself that that wasn't a very princely thing to do. And even if he did, depending on who he blames his wounds on, he would feel a little bit guilty because they could have been an innocent standby and just getting caught in a bad storm that they had no part in, but have been dragged in because of him. He looked down, then he slowly moved his head back up so he was looking at the ceiling. He was looking up at the ceiling. He noticed a lot of patterns and designs. He thought they looked pretty. When he continued to admire the ceiling, he was still thinking about that deal. Time skip. Roman had thought about this deal for 5 hours, and he decided he was going to take it. He didn't want the others to know. He sighed and saw a little button that had a sticky note saying, "If you need me, push this button, Nightmare/Dream." He saw it and decided to push it. Sure enough, as clear as day, there she was, Nightmare standing next to Roman. "Did you need something?" Yeah. It's about the deal." "What about it?" "I'm going to accept this deal of yours." "Really? You mean what you say, right?" A prince who lies is not a prince at all. Okay. Okay. So, you know what this means. Roman, correct? Yes. And remember, you cannot back out of this deal, and if you do fully agree and break this deal, I will expose your secrets. Got it? I get it. Okay. Roman and Namer shake on it. As they shook on it, there was a strange feeling on Roman's arm. When his hand was set free, he looked down and saw a design on it. It was black and white, and it was over top his scars. It was in many different patterns. From what he could see, the black lines were from his cuts. They looked cracked and broken, while the white was something that was trying to heal. He was confused at it, and he noticed that she also had the same design on her arm. He was about to ask the design before she cut him off. The design is simple to show that there is no going back on this deal. If you break it, then the design will disappear on the party who made the deal. That is how I will know if you broke your deal. Does that make sense? I guess so. Good, because now I'm going to bandage those wounds of yours. So hold still. That is the end of chapter 7, moving on to chapter 8. Warning, bad grammar, some unsympathetic Logan, and cursing. No one's point of view. It has been a week, and the other sides, besides Roman and Remus, still haven't found out about this new side, for their minds were stuck on a new deadline for a new episode. Roman, do you have any ideas for a video theme for Thomas? Well, yes. I have a folder of them. Well, if you can, please, hand over the folder. That would be greatly appreciated. Alrighty. Roman hands Logan the folders, and Logan starts to look through them, and starts to point out the small details on how there are things that didn't go well together, some things don't make sense, and how they were completely illogical and nonsensical. The only ones he didn't criticize were the ones that were very boring and very logical, and with little imagination. But it was drastically toned down. Honestly, the book looked more like either a newspaper from back in the past or a novel, or something out of history that no one was interested in. After 15 minutes of Logan's criticism, Roman felt more dead inside than any man or woman or anyone on Earth. Wow, now hang on there, Logan. Let me have a read on that good old story. Fine. Logan hands Patton the file, and Patton just compliments all of Roman's work, and Roman felt a little less dead, but not much. Kiddo, these are amazing! If you ask me, they're really impressive. Patton, they are illogical and make no sense whatsoever. Aw, come on, Loki. They're amazing! Hey, Pat, can I also see them? Sure, kiddo. As Patton handed Virgil the folders, he was listing bad and positive things about it. The negative were mostly just what-ifs or socializing with others, and the positive were about this could be fun for Thomas and it seems safe, or this could be a, hey, bring back an old video and improving on it. Roman smiled at Virgil, while Logan was taking notes on others' opinions so they could decide which idea would be the best for the next episode and to narrow down the list of options everyone had. Time skip. It took about 15 minutes to decide, but eventually they decided on making a video with Virgil and Roman and dealing with social anxiety and falling in love. Y'all know where this is going. Okay, we've done a tremendous amount of planning and work. Thank you all for coming here, and Roman, thank you for the ideas. Now, goodbye, everyone. He sinks down. Okay, bye, Logan, and I shall go too. Bye, kiddos. He sinks down. As much as this has been agonizing, it's still nice to get things done. I have to go check on my spider, so bye. And then Virgil leaves. This left Roman alone. He was looking around the living room. He heard it. A voice. It sent chills down his spine as he turned around to see nothing and hear nothing. He quickly looked around the room one more time before getting a strong urge to leave the room immediately. He listened to his gut and went straight, gay, to his room. He wondered why his gut feeling told him to leave, but he honestly didn't care enough to go back because he knows in certain situations, always trust your gut. It could save you. Roman was gonna go to his desk to work on some new ideas, but he got a text from Remus. Little bro. 12:46 p.m.
Hey, bro. You gonna come and hang out with me in Nightmare or what?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got busy, but yeah, I'm gonna head over to you both now.
Good. Now hurry the fuck up.
Okay. Remus was smiling and got from his chair and headed towards Samir. He saw his body and grimaced on how he looked. Too fat, he thought to himself. But he brushed past that and put his hand to the mirror and sank through. He was now in his side of the imagination and decided to text Remus where he and Nightmare were located at. 12:50 p.m. Hey, Remus, where are you and Nightmare at?
Me and Nightmare are on her side of the imagination.
Okay, thank you. I'm heading over there now.
See you then, bro.
See you too, brother. As Roman was walking to Nightmare and Remus, he then heard something. He quickly spun around to see if he could tell where the noise was coming from, but he couldn't. He was now alerted that he could possibly not be alone, so he continued walking, but kept an ear out to see if it was just his mind wandering off or someone else really was there with him. As he kept his guard up, he heard it again, but this time he understood what they said. Are you sure this is gonna work, boss? He seems pretty suspicious of us. Roman felt his blood go cold. He wanted to know who was talking, but if he did, then he risks them finding out that someone is onto them, so he continues to act oblivious to the person stalking him at the moment. But he knew he couldn't allow whoever this person was to follow him, for they may be a threat. So he did the only logical thing he could do at the moment. He went over to Remus' side of the imagination in hopes of his quick thinking and theory that if he goes to Remus' side of the imagination that is full of mazes, twists, turns, and all sorts of path that leads to a dead end if you don't know where you're going. But the most tricky part is that everything was completely random. And so it is to Roman's hope that whoever is following him, he could end up losing them in Remus' forest. He walked around for 20 minutes before deciding it was safe to leave the forest and head over to his brother and friend.
Bro, where have you been for the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, me and Remus were worried. Where were you? Sorry, but, there was someone following me, and I didn't know who they were, so I decided to leave them in Remus' forest.
Wow, I hope you're okay.
Do you recognize the voice of the person? No, not really. And it's weird because I don't think I've ever heard someone have a voice like that. Well, at least you got away from them. So let's go inside and hang out. Yeah.
Fuck yeah!
Somewhere, someone else is hiding behind a tree. Oh, just you wait. I'll get you sooner or later. Oh, just you wait. The boss gets what he wants. He always does. This is gonna be fun little hunt. Don't you worry, little bunny. I'll catch you soon. That is the end of chapter 8. Moving on to chapter 9. Warning! Bad grammar, cussing, some friendly bonding, kidnapping, mental abuse, questionable, gore, death, long chapter. I will give a warning ahead of time for the gory scenes. A new friend or foe. No one's point of view. So, what do?
We could play a game.
Oh, like hide and seek? Oh, that sounds fun!
Oh, that does sound fun, but let's make it more interesting.
Oh, like what?
The loser has to go to everyone here in the Mine Palace and in front of Thomas and has to sing and dance the chicken that's in a chicken suit. Oh, sounds fun!
Oh, competition, eh? Well then, let's see who wins. Wait, who's gonna be the seeker? Because I still don't know who the others are, and where are we gonna play the game? If it's in our territory, then we have inside information. Therefore, it would be easier for the seeker to find the hider. I see. Oh! Remus, remember that place where me and you would play when we were younger?
Oh, you mean the random area? Space in the middle of this place where none of us have control over. It just collects random things from our sides and creates a log of unexplored territory? Yeah, I do want... Oh, we can go there!
Wait, hold up. There's another place inside this place in the middle? How have I not accidentally stumbled upon it? Oh, yeah. Sorry for never mentioning it, but it can be hard to find if you don't know where to look. Follow me, Remus. The three walked to nightmare/dreams mist of fog. Roman and Remus showed their symbols to the mist. The mist disappeared and showed a beautiful land that was mixed of what the three in their territories, which made the scene look magical. Nightmare/dream was mesmerized on how beautiful it looked. Remus was running around this world very hyper and excited. Roman was right beside Nightmare/dream, taking in the view with her, and looked back at her. He was holding out his hand for her to grab it. Nightmare/dream took Roman's hand, and they carefully walked into this new world after setting a few ground rules. 1. No leaving unless found or an emergency. 2. No cheating. No looking of seeker. No making a clone of yourself to be distracted. No using any creations unless it's to get high ground if you want to hide in a tree or something. But there is a signal sense to everyone, so it kind of gives away your position, etc. 3. If you are found, no arguing about it, and help the seeker find the other player or players. 4. If you no longer want to play, go to the big open field and sit down and do whatever you want until the seeker and or players come back. 5. If the seeker cannot find you after 3 hours, they will use a device that sends a signal to the other player or players saying that the hider or hiders win. 6. If the seeker finds one hider, then the hider has to help the seeker if there are more hiders. With those rules in place, Roman and Remus and Nightmare/Dream had agreed that Roman and Remus would hide and Nightmare would be seeker, which would give her more time to explore more of the area, and it is also a friendly competition between Roman and Remus. There is a symbol that will say that the scene has changed. Okay, so I'll count to 60 while you two go hide.
Okay, well, good luck finding me, Night-Night, and good luck, brother.
Good luck, Dun-Dun. And Remus, you better go check on your rubber chicken suit. Hide, both of you, I'm counting. Unless you want me to win, then. Remus and Roman, nope.
Then go hide, Riri and Roro.
60, 59, 58, 57. Roman and Remus quickly ran in different directions. Remus ran to the dark-looking haunted woods, and Roman ran into the woods that did not look haunted or dark. Someone unknown. Point of view. Well, looks like I'll have to catch my little rabbit sooner than I thought. They walked out of the shadows and were going to direction. No one's point of view. Roman was wandering around the woods to find a good hiding spot. Scenery changed. He continued looking around and found an injured animal. He couldn't see what it was, so he cautiously went closer and saw it was a baby deer without a mama. Gore warning. I'm sorry about this. Roman saw the baby deer's stomach was slashed and was bleeding badly. Roman saw that the baby deer was so close to death. As Roman continued to look, he saw gunshots in the deer's left back. Legs were broken and the bone was sticking out. Roman looked back at the baby deer and saw the deer was silently asking for Roman to either kill it or help it. Roman knew what he had to do. He summoned medical equipment, which sends a signal to Nightmare/Dream, and Dream is telling him that he summoned something, which gives away his location. But Roman didn't care. All he wanted was to save this poor baby deer. Gore is over, but sadly, there will be more, so be prepared. Scenery changed. After Roman had finished helping the baby deer calmly sleeping on a pillow and covered in a warm blanket. Roman was calmly looking at this baby deer and was wondering where the deer's mama was, since baby deers never stray very far from their mothers. Roman had a horrible feeling sinking feeling that the mama was no longer here. Since there were gunshots wounds in the baby deer, but that raises more questions, Roman thought to himself. Wait, who else is in here in the imagination to cause such inflicting pain? It can't be me. Remus has standards when killing things, and never kills a baby with the mother unless it's for some reason. A reason that he won't tell me. Unless there's something I'm missing. Let's see. Patton loves animals, knows this place is here, but never comes here. Logan knows this place is here, but doesn't come due to non-organization. Virgil visits, but will never kill any type of animal. Janice knows this place, but only comes here for scenery and quiet and get away from the other side's voices. He also listens to the river, the river's calm water, and feels the warm sun on his scales. Since he's part snake, he needs heat and is cold-blooded. Definitely not in Nightmare/Dream. She didn't even know this place existed, and it couldn't have been me either, so who did this? As Roman kept wondering in thought, he heard the baby deer cry out for its mother. Roman looked at the baby deer's head, size, and thought the baby deer must be hungry and scared, and is calling for its mother for comfort or food. Roman had a deep pain in his heart, and decided to also summon food for the baby deer to eat. When he summoned the food, the baby deer immediately tried to walk over to Roman to eat, but Roman went up to the baby deer instead, so the baby deer doesn't hurt itself. Shh, shh, shh. It's okay. Here, eat. It's okay. He smiled softly at the baby deer. The baby deer happily ate the food Roman gave it. Roman continued to smile at the baby deer as it happily ate away its food. Once the deer finished eating, it laid its head on Roman's lap. Roman was a little shocked, but quickly got over it and started petting its head. Nightmare/Dream's point of view. I went over to the scary part of the woods because I knew Remus would be there. If not, then that would have been a deep shock for me. Scene changed. I've been looking for Remus for 20 minutes when I got a signal saying that Roman has created something in the bright, pretty forest. In Nightmare's thoughts. Well, at least I have a good hint on where Roman is. Now to continue to find Remus. I continued to look when I heard something or someone screaming. Scenery changed. I followed to where the screaming was and was horrified on what I saw. Another gory scene. Sorry. I saw Remus hanging upside down. He was all bloody. Blood was dripping from his head, nose, and mouth. I nearly barfed when I saw his right leg. It looked like he was put through a shredder, and his right arm was in a bear trap. The worst part was that he was not screaming in pain. He was screaming of laughter as this was funny and not traumatizing. Remus, are you okay? Oh, you found me. Did you find Rover first, though? No, I didn't find him. I was busy looking for you. But this is beyond the point. You look like a dead corpse that was hanged and put in a shredder. What the blaze has happened? Oh, man. Anywho, to answer that, I have no clue. All I remember is I was hiding in the mouth of a tree, and then I blacked out and felt sharp pain. Then after I find myself up here, and then I see you. Okay, you have no clue. But how am I going to get you down? You're 20 feet in the air, and we still have to find Roro. Hey, yeah. Hey, I think I can chew out of a rope. Wait, what? I saw Remus starting to chew through the rope, and I summoned a bunch of blankets. and pillows beneath him so he doesn't accidentally break his neck or crack his skull. Okay, now that you're down, let's fix you and then look for Roro, because one, if you don't remember what happened to you and this happened, then who the blaze knows when this happened to Roro. Good point. Well, let's hurry this up. Roman's point of view. Oh, aren't you a cutie? I thought to myself. I continued to pet its head and was wondering what gender it was so I could give them a proper name. This is for the readers, but in this case, listeners. What should the baby deer's gender be? A baby boy or a baby girl, or stay gender neutral? And if so, what names do you want the baby deer to have? Put your name and gender suggestions in the comments down below. What is your gender? I guess I'll find out eventually in time. But till then, I'ma call you baby deer. I saw the deer nuzzle its head close to me. I smiled at it and continued to pet its head. I heard a large twig snap, which put me on high alert. I quickly looked around to see if I could find who made the sound. Hello? Who's out there? I was looking around for a few more seconds when I felt the deer start to shake and slowly made whimpering sounds. What? In a calm, quiet tone. Hey, shh, it's okay, it's okay. I'm right here, you're safe, I promise. That's quite a big promise there, then. Wait, what? I turned around to see who it was, but as I did, something dusty blew in my face. What was that? As I said that, I was slowly getting more and more tired. I turned back to the baby deer, who looked to be having the same drowsy effect. So I did the most logical thing that came to mind. I gently grabbed the baby deer, holding onto it as if I let them go, they would die and soon black out. An unknown person's point of view. I saw the boy turning back to the baby deer. I attacked for bait and saw him hugging it. I was disgusted by that and just thought to get the boy, get out and be done with my task. I went over to pick him up. He would not let that damn baby deer go. I was getting frustrated and disgusted at the fact if I want to get to him, I would have to touch the deer. Never mind the fact that I was covered in that damn thing's blood 20 minutes ago. It was horrible getting that thing's blood off me, and then cleaning myself of its filth that I had to touch it. The memory made me shiver of how gross it was, and the fact that this boy was hugging it. I shuddered for a quick moment, then decided to bring the deer along too, so I don't have to touch it to move it away from the guy. The scene changed. Phew! It took all of 30 minutes, but I finally got the guy in the cell without too much trouble of touching the deer. Although I am going to need a deep clean bath soon after touching that disgusting thing. I walked away after checking the lock 5 times to see if it was properly locked, since the boss would hate to see the boy get free and find his brother and tell him what happened, therefore ruining his plan. And the one in question who let him out will have a terrible punishment by death. Some random side let out some other random side out of their prison cell, and when he found out that side was executed, and that side that escaped was nowhere to be seen, and the boss couldn't find them. So I didn't want to end up on that filthy and disgusting chopping board. No one's point of view. Roman was lying unconscious on the hard, cold, cemented floor, while the baby deer was relishing the fact that Roman was providing warmth in the cold room. The baby deer looked around its surroundings, and when they saw no one was around, it turned into a young child who looked to be around the age of 4 to 6. There is an image in this story to show what this baby deer looked like. The young child looked around down their body. They frowned when they saw the bandage on their stomach. They lightly touched the bandage and looked over at Roman. The child smiled happily and was grateful that Roman had decided to help them instead of hurt them. Like the weird man who killed their mother. A child softly cried at the memory of its mother. Another gory scene. It's just a warning. It's sad. Also, you don't have to listen to it if you don't want to. This is just the baby deer's flashback. Proceed with caution. Thank you. Flashback. A mother deer and their child were just laying down and enjoying the sun and food, along with the peace and quiet. That was until the mother heard something. She quickly turns around to see what the noise was. When she heard it again, she went to her child, signaling for the two to run with her. Them to run with her. The child didn't understand why they were running, but followed their mother anyway. Scene changed. The two ran for 10 minutes before something loud was heard. The baby stopped from fear. The mother quickly noticed and tried to get her child moving again, to no avail. After 40 seconds, the mother saw a man with a gun. He had a cloak covering him, so she couldn't tell who they were. A gore scene. She immediately noticed the gun pointing at her child. She immediately took action and went in front of her baby, taking the bullet in the rib. She screamed in pain and quickly jumped to attack the attacker who tried to hurt her baby. As she jumped on him, pushing him to the ground, she stomped on his stomach a few times. The strange man yelped in pain, but quickly pulled the gun, shooting the poor deer in her heart, killing her instantly. The baby deer, who was still frozen in fear, saw their mother fall limply on the ground and saw the strange man get up. The young deer wanted to do something, anything, but sadly they couldn't do anything. They saw the man holding the gun again, and then shot the baby deer. The baby deer screamed in pain. Saw the man pull out a knife. The man walked over to the child, kicked them where they had just shot them. Once the baby was on their side, the man took the dagger and deeply cut the baby's stomach, causing the baby to scream louder and cry in deeper pain. The man then saw the young deer was moving to try and kick him away, so the man lifted his foot and stomped on the deer's left leg, making the deer cry harder and soon after passed out. The man took the bleeding baby deer and started to drag the deer by the broken leg somewhere far away from its dead mother. The gore scene is over. Flashback over. The baby deer cried a little harder at the painful memory. They looked over to a sleeping Roman. The child still didn't know who Roman was, but crawled over to him since they felt safer with him. As the child crawled over, tears streaming down their face, they moved Roman's arms and crawled on top of his stomach and snuggled into his warmth, loving the warmth he provided. The baby deer wiped his tears away, moved Roman's arms to hold them in a sense of safety and protection. After the baby was done adjusting Roman's arms around him, the baby snuggles back into Roman's chest and then soon dozed off to sleep. Another scene change. After 8 hours, Roman had slowly woken up from his extended nap. He groggily looked around his surroundings and quickly noticed that the baby deer was nowhere near him. He then noticed a small child laying in his arms. He was questioning why there was a random child in his arms, and where was the baby deer, and where was he? He slowly moved his hand away from the child's back. He felt bandages. He slowly got up and held the child close to him and checked to see if he thought were bandages were true. And to his horror, it was bandages. He also noticed the broken left leg. He then started to look for the deer again, but saw no deer. He looked again. He saw the room was dark and the walls looked old and saw the paint peeling off and some broken drywall. The floor was relatively hard and cold. It felt metallic. As he looked down, he saw it was metal. He was slowly freaking out till he felt a soft little yawn come from the child. Roman looked down to see the young was waking up. Oh, hello, little one. Hi, mister. Thank you for saving me. Huh? Saving you? What do you mean? We just met. Oh, right. I was the baby deer you saved. What? Yeah, You saved me when I was badly injured. You also gave me head pats like my mama used to do when she shifted into her human form. How? I don't know either. I would ask Mommy, but... The baby deer started to cry again, and Roman, taking in the fact that things in the imagination made no sense a lot of the time, he just accepted the fact that an animal can turn somewhat human. But accepting that fact, he also put two and two together. 1, the baby deer he rescued was alone and badly injured. 2, the child in front of him was using past tense words, signaling that their mom was probably passed away, which sadly confirmed his theory of the baby deer's mom being dead. He looked back to the baby human deer crying, and rubbed gentle circles on the child's back while rocking them side to side, shushing them and telling them it's going to be okay. He then started to see the child slowly calm down, but it was still hysterically crying. So Roman decided to sing the young deer a song that he calmed himself when he felt scared. The song is called Song of the Sea in a male version. I will not sing it because of copyright. I'm sorry. After Roman calmly sang to the child, they calmed down a lot more and snuggled into Roman's chest again. Mister, what's your name? My name is Roman. What's your name, kiddo? My name is... A loud bang of the door being slammed open revealed a very unfamiliar face. Hello again. Do I know you? Once the kid turned around, they shuddered in fear. It was the same man who hurt them and killed their mother. They held on tight to Roman's shirt. Roman obviously noticed and held the child closer to him while the kid laid their head on Roman's chest, slightly shaking. Oh, I'm hurt. But I suppose it has been quite some years since we last seen each other, so I guess it is to be expected. Who even are you? Well, I do go by quite a few names. It's repulsive, but you can call me Repulse. When Roman heard the man say his name, it felt so familiar to him. He was in shock for a few seconds, but gained his composure. Why are you named Repulsive? Is it because you are repulsively stupid? I would watch your tone if I were you, boy. Who are you calling a boy? Ugh, I'm obviously calling you that stupid fucking idiot. But enough about us. How is my brother doing? Who? My brother. You can go ahead and call me on this one, but to be continued. Again, what do you want the baby deer's name and gender to be? Boy or girl or gender neutral? It is all up to you. But go ahead and show my Wattpad account some love, please. It is Mangold Tom Tord. Everything is lowercase, and there is a hyphen in the middle of Mangold and Tom Tord. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my little cinnamon roll pups. Mwah.